Hi Virgo, this is your tarot card reading for the month of November 2020. When I was looking at these cards back at it, let's talk about a bad story turned good. At the beginning of the month, we have the Ten of Swords. When I look at the Ten of Swords, I often, get a little sad about it. We have endings that were painful. We have wounds that have not been healed. We have people actively trying to kind of sabotage. We have someone that has given up. And it's weird to say that because I'm talking about Virgo, and I don't usually associate Virgo with the type of person that gives up easily. But last month, especially at the ending, something happened. I'm guessing it's words said. Someone said something to you that affected you in a way that usually wouldn't. We have the Nine of Wands right next to that. Talks about courage. Talks about, standing up without being afraid to burn someone. It talks about being able to see what has happened to you and not fall victim to it. I think, especially last month, at the end of last month, you guys really kind of fell down in a way that you guys aren't used to. And I don't see you guys necessarily victimizing yourselves, but I see you guys taking what happened to you as it is, and I'm going to tell you to not do that this month. Back to what I was saying about the Nine of Wands, it talks about courage. It talks about a test of how much you are able to value. I'm going to talk about, this isn't necessarily, and I know Virgo's an earth sign, but this isn't going to be one of those readings. I'm not seeing one of those readings where it has to do with career. I'm having a kind of message being brought where it has to do with close people, specifically. You have kind of decided, and this can deal with the situation too, this specific what I'm saying right now. This could deal with a situation that happened that you're kind of like, you know what? No, I tried and tried and tried again, and it's just not going to work. This isn't, you were kind of just laying down and kind of taking what happened to you, and I don't blame you, but this is what happened. Anyway, so the Nine of Wands is right next to the Nine of Cups, which is kind of a complete switches, and that's what I was talking about in the beginning. We have this kind of energy of trying so hard at the beginning of the month. I don't know what happened specifically to you guys, but I know that it really took a toll, and you really had to find almost everything that you could to get up again. And you guys do. And that's why the Nine of Cups is here right now. The Nine of Cups is someone who accomplishes things, someone who knows that regardless of what's next, I have done the work that I needed to do. Then we have the Queen of Wands. I'm seeing someone that accomplishes something. I'm not seeing someone who carries on that pain anymore. This is a real transformation type of month for you guys. It starts off on this windmill of, oh my gosh, I don't even want to try anymore. Then we pick ourselves back up and we find the courage to say, yeah, I am going to try again. But you're not doing it for someone else. I think you guys are doing it for yourselves. I'm not seeing this as a partner that you guys are trying with. So if you have a partner, you guys got into a fight, some words were said, I'm not saying that you are picking the relationship back up. I'm seeing this as a self-focused energy. We have the Wands. We have 3 of the Wands. This is fire. And when I say fire, I associate it with fire signs. And fire signs are self-oriented. And I think that a lot of the time we look at that as bad. And a lot of times it can be. But it's also necessary. It's a necessary quality to have to be in the position that we want to be in. This is a completely different person by the end of the month. I mean, the wheel, and of course it's a wheel of fortune, but the wheel of fortune is there, and it has flipped. It has flipped everything around for you. And I don't say this lightly. I say this as it will. The overall energy is the Eight of Swords. When I see the Eight of Swords, I see someone who has put themselves in a situation. I think a lot of the time Virgos can be really critical on themselves and kind of blame themselves for a situation. I shouldn't have been there at that time. I shouldn't have done that at that time. I shouldn't have, it can go on and on and on. But we have to be able to fight that kind of self-imposed blindness in ourselves. Not everything can be your fault. When I see the Queen of Wands here, I see someone that is ready to give it all. And I think the universe kind of rewards you on that. Kind of says, and that's the best part about Virgos, when we're on Earth right now. When we're dealing with an Earth sign, we get someone that's immediately from birth connected to the Earth. And when they're ready, the universe is ready too. I know that sounds super basic and super, duh, but a lot of the signs don't get that. Take advantage of your emotions this month. A lot of the time Virgos kind of, again, self-critical, but don't realize how emotionally, naturally mature they are. Let's be ready to fight for what we want, but let's not engage in childish behavior either. You don't need to gain what you have already lost this month. You don't need to be the person that you wanted to be when you were little, because you have matured from that. We have the Five of Wands, and it talks about, to me, the Five of Wands is kind of this energy of, I'm almost there. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. When I talk about the Five of Wands, I don't usually talk about arguing and everything like that, but for you guys specifically, I'm going to say to not fall into childish traps. You guys could be dealing with someone who just is immature. There are certain people that cannot understand why you are ready to move on. And you have to allow that to be. Do not be, this girl at the bottom that is looking at everyone else but where she's at. Be the person that is ready for the future, like the Queen of Wands. I'm not seeing you guys getting help this month from anyone, so I'm gonna say don't look for, I think this is like a personal journey too, more than anything, but I'd advise you not to look towards finance and people that have everything that you want this month. I feel like Virgos don't necessarily realize that they can be so much more than what they want and the people that have them. And I think that is one of the most important life lessons for Virgos too. I think oftentimes they step into their individuality and don't necessarily step into creativity within that. We get someone that is okay with being themselves, but looks towards others for what they can and cannot do. And it's contradiction. It's contradicting. And when we get to the end of the month, we get this kind of energy of the universe being ready for you to change. I want to give these kind of last few words to you guys, and I'm going to say this to you, and I don't usually say this to Virgos because usually they already know that. But with these two cards, I was worried, and so I think I'm going to say this. Do not be afraid of the change that is going to come at the end of the month. Be ready for everything. When something happens to you this month and you are tested on what you know and don't know, do not be afraid to fail. Not saying that you will, but always know that when we put ourselves out there, we have to be ready for any outcome. Always be ready. And when you have to be ready to fight to change too. Fight to want to change, not change someone else. Yeah. Be ready for the end of the month. Something definitely is going to, turn right upside down for you guys. And it's definitely going to be a balanced situation again. You're stepping back into yourselves, but this time with this kind of passionate energy. Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I will see you in December. Peace out.